Okay, have you ever found an old container of salt buried in the back of your kitchen cabinet? Maybe the label's faded or the lid's a little dusty, and you suddenly ask yourself, wait, does salt expire? I mean, it looks the same. It still tastes salty. But what if it's gone bad and you just didn't know? You'd be surprised how many people toss out salt just because they're not sure. So today, let's clear it up once and for all. Here's the short version. Pure salt basically doesn't expire. It's one of the oldest, most natural preservatives in the world, and when it's left alone, without additives or moisture, it can last forever. Yes, literally. But the full story is actually pretty interesting, and it helps to know a few small details that could save you some money and confusion. First, let's talk about why salt is so shelf-stable. Pure salt, like sea salt, rock salt, or Himalayan pink salt, is made up of sodium chloride, a mineral that's naturally hostile to bacteria, mold, and most other things that make food spoil. That's why for thousands of years, people use salt to preserve meat, fish, and even vegetables because it sucks the moisture out of things and creates an environment where bacteria can't survive. But here's where it gets a little tricky. Not all salt is just salt. Most table salts, the kind you probably have at home, are processed and often include additives like iodine, which helps prevent iodine deficiency, and anti-caking agents that keep the salt from clumping. These extras are what can technically have a shelf life. For example, iodine can lose its potency over time, and anti-caking agents might clump or change texture after a few years. So the salt itself isn't bad, but the added ingredients may not work quite the same after a while. That's why many salt containers have a best buy date printed on them. But it's more about quality than safety. If you use iodized salt that's 5 years past its date, you're still getting sodium chloride. It just might not be giving you much iodine anymore. And it might be a bit lumpy. Totally fine though, if you give it a stir or break it up. Now, the only real enemy of salt is moisture. If salt gets wet, it can absorb smells or even grow clumps. So always store it in a dry, sealed container, away from humidity. Don't leave it open near the stove where steam rises, and definitely avoid dipping in with a damp spoon. So next time you stumble across an old salt jar and wonder if it's still good, just remember this. If it's dry, clean, and hasn't been sitting open in a swamp, it's probably just as good as the day you bought it. Salt doesn't go bad. It's the stuff we add to it that changes. And now you know the difference.